Om, Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Brahma Miras Triparan Takare. Banu Shashi Bhamisita. Buddha Sha Guru Sha Shukra. Shani Rahu Keteva. Sarvigraha Shantikara Bhavantu. Om. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Namah Shivaya. Greetings and welcome to Cosmic Kev 100, your weekly astro video zine where we take the planets, sometimes referred to as grahas, and the houses of the zodiac, sometimes referred to as bhavas, and the signs of the zodiac, the rishis. And so, and we try to make sense of it, mostly in accordance with Western tradition, but I like to interject what's actually happening in the sky, according to Vedic astrology as well. So we'll start with that today. By the way, before we do that, I love your comments. Thank you, new subscribers. I appreciate you so much. And old subscribers, I appreciate you so much. Thanks for just tuning in today and giving a look. Because we're going into 2024 this week. This is the forecast for, let's see now, Friday, the 29th of December, 2023, through Thursday, January 4th, 2024, so Happy New Year, in accordance with the Roman calendar. Now, there's a lot of changes this week. Venus is going into Sagittarius. It's a little gamier, I guess you'd say. And I think that's happening on Friday, so, there's be a change of energy in the whole love thing. And later on this week, I think by Thursday, we're going to have Mars out of Sagittarius into Capricorn in Western astrology. Now, these are both Western astrology aspects. That's not where you're going to find it. I mean, Mars, you'll find Mars still in Sagittarius, and you'll find Venus still in the constellation of Scorpio. Until, but there will be shifts, and but according to tropical seasonal astrology, this is what's going on. Now, the moon in the sidereal aspect, like how we would see it in the sky, well, tonight we'd look at it in the constellation of Cancer. And the part of Cancer that the moon is in would be a lunar mansion known as Alesha. So Alesha is ruled by the Nagas, or like serpents. Alesha is ruled by Mercury. Alesha is supposed to have hypnotizing eyes or sexy eyes. Alesha is where Mars gets debilitated, and so there's been some pretty heavy-duty Mars energy, even as I'm, doing this. I realize that, everything takes a lot of forgiveness, compassion, and love, and for us to move forward in a good way. And sometimes it takes acceptance, too, of things we don't like. And that's all right, too. So, Alesha is ruled by Mercury. Mercury is all about the mind and intelligence. Now, Mars gets debilitated here in Ashlesha Nakshatra, because Ashlesha wants to reason with everything and is kind of afraid of confrontation. That's why the snake has a hole, to go into. It's all within the constellation of Cancer, and it's the tail end of it. So this is where, the emotions start to run really high before it goes into a fire sign. And it's also a place, though, where people can, are probably sexually curious. There's other realms, shedding the skin, going through transformation. They go through a lot of deep stuff. I've seen a lot of deep sorrow, some really hard things. They're super sensitive, and it's not always like the best time for confrontation. it is a Venus day, and Venus just, changed signs in Western astrology, or will at 12:24 p.m. And I mean, Scorpio, it takes love seriously, and Sagittarius, I guess in Western astrology, we'll say is a little more philosophical. Live and let live. I mean, Jupiter doesn't necessarily have the best opinion of Venus, to be really honest with you. But Venus, shines bright, and it's really, I can't go with one over the other really, because somehow that just seems wrong. All the planets are good. All of them have both blessings and lessons to teach us as we're going through things. And there's an incredible intelligence in Astrology. Astrology's learned a lot. And, there's periods of time where it will shed the skin. Saturday, Saturday night, certainly by Sunday, we're going to have Moon in Maga Nakshatra, which is our royalty. It's our, it's our inheritance. It's our gut feeling, and getting other people to help us with our dharma, taking the right action. But the majority of Saturday, it's like also kind of use a little caution, because we'll be between that moon will be between the fire and water sign in Vedic. We call that the Gandanta. It's like a knot where things tend to get a little bit washed out. So compassion, compassion, compassion on this week of major shifts. And in Western astrology, of course, we've got a moon in Leo. And here's the other good news, is Jupiter goes direct on Saturday at 6:40 p.m. So, aspects of travel, things like that get a lot better come Saturday night. And so that's another thing to be happy about. So, sign by sign, starting with you, Aries. And so right now, Mercury is, I believe Mercury is, of course, still in Sagittarius, and in Western astrology at least. Okay. So Mercury in Sagittarius going direct. This is the good news. It goes Mercury goes direct January 1st at 7:08 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So, about 2 hours, 2.5 hours after sunset, it's like the communication gets better. There's this feeling of settled directness, and, Jupiter direct, Mercury direct. It's like we got our thinking caps on now. Vedic astrology, Mercury was, and as recently as like still in Scorpio. I think this is an interesting thing to note. That's this constellation we find it in, and then Jupiter's in Aries and constellation. Of course, it's in Taurus and in Western astrology, but we would see it in the constellation of Aries. And so Aries is a Mars-ruled planet, and Mercury is in Scorpio, a Mars-ruled sign. And so it's interesting how we have this whole placement where, also Mars is in Sagittarius, a Jupiter-ruled sign in Vedic astrology, and Jupiter's in Aries, and so that's a parivartana yoga. That's like an exchange between taking risk in our spiritual life and just giving ourselves some more zeal to do the right thing and get rid of evil, spiritually speaking. Yikes. So, our learning is energized right now. Anyhow, Aries, you are, in Western astrology and in Vedic astrology. So Western astrology this week, by Thursday, Mars goes in the 10th house. This is a great position in Capricorn. Mars is exalted in Capricorn. It's in the workplace house. So, I mean, you're going to make some career strides this year that are going to really be good. So, I mean, that's the encouragement right there. Venus moving over into Sagittarius, like I said before, ninth house, sometimes it's a long distance relationship, but it's also about, are you giving back something spiritually for the love you have with you and your lover? What are you giving back to the world as a couple? I think that's something that helps make relationships better, is the give back part. Anyhow, greetings Taurus, welcome your horoscope. I just want you to know that, the only thing that is consistent in the world is change. Now I'm in Capricorn's north sign. All right, so it occupies your ninth house. This should be like a time of good fortune, higher learning. You're going to be doing better. There is some blessings coming. I really sense that, and there is some mercy. There is some justice. There is all kinds of things like that coming down the pike. I wouldn't worry too much. I mean, this weekend looks good for just staying at home and taking care of the home stuff. Until Sunday, by Sunday you might, you have like a play day coming. And it's going to feel good. And you're just, elevate yourself spiritually that day too. This is like, it makes me think of like, God's children are royalty. The children of the divine parents, Adonai and Asherah. What a great legacy to be part of that. Let's see. Greetings, Gemini. Oh, I had these amazing Gemini quips for today. If life was meant to be consistent and everything that was said was going to be true, we would need no Gemini. It's interesting to me how in recent years there were so many assumptions made by the media, which is like kind of Mercury ruled, and sort of like we associate Gemini with it to some extent. And there was never really an admission like, hey, we gave you the wrong information. There was like a lot of beware of false information, but it's like, well, there it is. Who's calling the kettle black? I don't know. And then there's the people, God bless them, that bought it all hook, line, and sinker. Oh my God, I just feel so bad for them. Hey, they bought themselves a little privilege, some of them, right? Yeah, we buy ourselves a little privilege sometimes. And there was livelihood threats, and that's never acceptable. I just think I want more love and less fear in 2024 for Gemini. And since Mercury's going direct on Monday night, celebrate good times. That's a good start to the year. We learn. Greetings, Cancer. Welcome to your horoscope. Generally you're a homebody. But a lot of times this time of year you get career opportunities, there's romantic opportunities, and improve the relationship you have if you're in one. And so, it's going to be agreements and contracts are probably likely going to get renegotiated. This is going to be a little bit interesting. Well, I see you making money this weekend even, and, just sort of beginning the week with your friends or siblings maybe, and then from that point, you want to settle down, have like a much more settled end of the week, where you're just kind of looking at things, and in a way, part of that will lead to other opportunities. You can never outgive God, and so I see some good fortune. I really do, even though there's some kind of like storminess too. Yeah. Okay, speaking of storms, here is Leo. Like like a firestorm. Eh, but also Leo kind of brings the light, sort of like a bonfire that lightens everything up so we can celebrate life on. Capricorn time is a little hard on the health, it's a sixth house, so it's like, how do we work things out that we stay healthy during the winter? You're kind of solar creature. The sun gives us, rays give us energy and stuff, and, as an overall generalization, as a sun sign, you're sensitive to that. Helping others, anything you can do to donate, even if you feel broke from the holidays and stuff, any little thing you do now is going to be multiplied over, that God will reward you. I mean, you just have to relax and keep on following that heart, because that's sort of where you're at, and live by godly principles. And I mean that, boy, that you said a lot there, Cosmic Kev, because different people interpret those things in different ways. Yeah, I get that. But you have your own personal accountability, and it is like all of sin and comes short of the glory of God, basically, and just keep on spreading that love, because you still have this ability. I think your heart is open, you've got more creative energy. I think it's a good start for 2024. Hello, Virgo, and welcome to your horoscope. Okay. So, I mean, it's still going to be year of the water rabbit till like February 10th. I just want to get people to know that. So Virgo, Mercury going direct is big, for certain. So, Monday night there'll be this kind of feeling of peace and more settled. And eventually, by the end of the week, coming into like next week, then Mercury will be in your fifth house, and you'll be just, there'll be more of this kind of heart-opening creativity that you've been really wanting. I've heard a lot of people say this is a year of anti-resolutions, don't make any. And I thought, God, that's really smart, in a lot of ways. I mean, Capricorn time for Virgo is great because it's sun in the fifth. It's like, I want to play, I want to express my heart, I want to be loving to my children, I want to feel good, I need to, keep on with my artwork and moving forward, And I think, that's what's going on. There's going to be there's this movement forward. So you're kind of emerging from a cocoon, Virgo, and becoming your better self, and being in your heart. Most of you are sidereal Leos, so fifth house transits are they're fire, Anyhow, greetings Libra, and welcome to your horoscope. And it's not like Libra's left out of the equation. I mean, Saturn and Venus are friends, and Capricorn rules your fourth house. So there's like this whole kind of introspective, looking within period, working on the home, economically moving things, working on fixed assets. There's even something that you can get by selling stuff. I mean, Mars has been in your third house. You've been more courageous than usual. But you're going to kind of like, just chill a little bit and just sort of deal with your feelings. What agitates you, what makes you restless, what needs to be cleaned up or fixed in the house. Kind of have to work on health issues too, just kind of like, the sugar drink fest or whatever it was of the holidays, just too many flour products, and you're just kind of like, okay, I've had enough, I gotta let my kidneys relax a little bit, just kind of have a mini detox while making sure I, stay warm enough for winter and all that. And yeah, I mean, and you're getting some really amazing downloads spiritually. You're very sensitive to some other stuff, wavelength. Keep a journal, record those things. I want to hear about them. Write them in the comments. All right, greetings Scorpio. Welcome to your horoscope. I'm in Capricorn times third house, so that's siblings. Could be short trips, a little bit of travel. There is... the thing I like about the third house is that it's a house, it's an Upachaya house, they say in Vedic astrology. It's just like a house where you make improvements. In the long term, there's going to be improvements from this. Let's see, Venus moving signs. The heat's off you, okay, in some ways. And, it's nice when Venus transits, your signs or your planets. You kind of feel beautiful in those areas. Now it's like working on your finances and your own appearance, and just, you know, showing up, refreshed, doing it right, speaking kindness. A lot of things with words right now, and keeping a journal. Write down what you're going through right now. I mean, there's a lot of ups and downs of relationship, but it seems like this is overall a year of learning and intimacy, and yeah. And by next week, the moon will be in your first house next weekend. Reading Sagittarius. Okay. I mean, Venus in your first house, you're looking better. Mars there, you seem more dynamic. Yeah, and Sun moving in Capricorn, it's dealing with the nuts and bolts of things. Your possessions, your family, and also, beyond that, your throat, your voice, what's going on in those areas. So, I'm thinking that, it might have been a little bit hard dealing with some aspects of your family over the holidays, and you're just kind of getting over that, and you're trying to revive your own personal health, your own personal space. You're feeling like there's some kind of stagnation in your home, and you kind of need to deal with it, but you just don't know what the best approach is. And it's a weekend of like, you might be on a little trip. You might be traveling right now. There might be, you're getting yourself to where you need to be. And that's okay. Just say, like, this is a good time to just sort of like chill, take it easy, give it a rest. The mouth, the eating, the talking, all of it. Okay, here we go. Readings, Capricorn. Happy birthday if you're a Capricorn having a birthday. Capricorn having a birthday. I think Katie having a birthday this week. I know there's many others. Oh, Kelly, I work with, having a birthday. Happy birthday. I want to wish all of you very happy birthdays. And as we're getting into this week, there's a sense of renewal, and there's a sense that you have a little more personal power than usual, maybe even a little more clarity of vision coming. Certainly pay attention to your dreams still, and whatever messages you've gotten from them, and just, having good night's sleep, having better relationships, all of this certainly counts. Saturn's in the third house, so it's just kind of like dealing with commute, dealing with siblings, dealing with, desire to work with your hands, put something out, trying to learn something new, communicating in some ways, making sure the communication gets on a good foot after this. Now, greetings, Aquarius. Welcome to your horoscope. Sometimes there's limits in the field of money, and we're trying to be innovative. I mean, there might be some things around the house that if you fixed up or something and you're really not using them, you could get them and it would work out really good for you. Saturn's been transiting, near, especially if you're a late Aquarius, like in the middle of February, like it's still been, it's been no like super walk in the park, picnic. You're still dealing with some of that leftovers, even though Saturn isn't in Pisces, but that's affecting your second house along with Neptune. So it's like, money goes out. That's been really hard work, but it seems like something's just kind of eroding and drizzling. And so the only way you can do that is you have to give money to the poor, especially helping feed people, thanking God, just gratitude process, and know that, God sees your good act, especially in a tough time like this. And it's going to go through with a miracle, and that's better than giving it away to some, scam artist says, I can turn that money into, thousands, and, yeah, you know how they are. And it's okay. I'm not trying to put doubt. Some people it's going to work for. It's okay. I mean, some people, it's not for everyone, but especially now, Mercury's still retrograde, or just getting in and having Jupiter go direct, let's just kind of breathe and just let things come to us rather than necessarily have to come to them. And the weekend looks romantic and lovely in a lot of ways. So I think, you're going to enjoy that. Well, greetings, Pisces, and welcome to your horoscope. I think Jupiter going direct is a biggie. So you're going to feel like, okay, things are moving forward in the right way. So I can move forward. Mars moving over into Capricorn. It's like there's going to be some different social opportunities that you didn't have before that's going to come on, and Venus is in your midheaven, so you're looking good at work right now. And I think there's a lot of reason for people to gather and try and support each other. Where do you feel vulnerable? What do you think is going to happen? How are we going to deal with whatever future things get thrown at us? How do we respond? And I guess the easiest thing is do whatever they say. And and then there's that we will not comply. But I think somewhere between those two places lies intelligence, and it's more like I've got something. Well, I might comply with you if you'll comply with me. We have to learn how to negotiate with each other rather than be like in Stockholm Syndrome. Oh yes, mighty captors. We're going to do whatever you say. Don't do that. But rather to work as sovereigns. See yourself as queens and kings as you go through this coming year. Capricorn time, we have to deal with what our limits are, and we also have to bring into our being what our goals are going to be. And this doesn't matter who you are, and just kind of do like a little recap. We've got Mercury going direct a little after 7 on Monday night here Pacific time, and we've also got Jupiter going direct on the 30th. And we have Mars on Thursday going from Sagittarius to Capricorn. So it's a lot of shifts in 1 week. And in this, what we would call a waning moon period, since the last full moon, we're just kind of letting everything go from the day after Christmas to this point. And let's just make sure that we try to provoke the most loving and best aspect of each other as we go through the week. I'm so grateful for you. Om Shanti 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 Om Tat Sat.